I've never seen a diamond in the flesh. I cut my teeth on wedding rings in the movies, and I'm not proud of my address.
We're not just building muscle, we're building men. In the quiet hours, in the unfiltered moments, in the conversations that happen before the world wakes up. This is the Glue-OOM, where brotherhood forms in the dark so we can lead in the light, where vulnerability is strength and leadership is handed from man to man, one story at a time. Our mission is to empower, exhort, and inspire men to achieve their best selves through stories of reinvigorated male community leadership. We bring you weekly interviews with F3 Omaha packs, ordinary men doing extraordinary things in fitness, fellowship, faith, and leadership, because we believe that every man has a story, and reinvigoration starts when that story is shared. This is the Glue in the Glue-OOM. Shout out to our sponsors, Avior Wealth Management, Liberty Core Real Estate, Major Team Mortgage, Exclusively Eye Care, Omaha Laser Dentistry, and McNamara Law Firm. We appreciate your support. Liberty Core Real Estate is your homegrown real estate broker. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate, whether personal or investment, Armando, aka Brian, and Megan Michaels' company is ready to serve you. With Command Center in Old Town Elkhorn and agents all throughout the metro, they are more than ready to guide and serve you in your next real estate endeavor. Whether your next move needs to happen now or in 5 years, call or text Armando at 402-770-2165 to get your questions answered. And a special offer for F3 Nation PAX members, Liberty Core will donate $250 to your sponsor of choosing for every closed transaction. Stop looking, start finding today with Liberty Core Real Estate. What's it like to love your dentist? Well, you're about to find out, where healthy smiles go beyond your teeth. No drilling, no needles, and no anxiety. Relax, it's Omaha Laser Dentistry. Welcome to better. At Omaha Laser Dentistry, Dr. Bullenparty uses the Solea laser, a CO2 laser that's used in all of his day-to-day patient care. He provides thorough exams, assessments, and treatments for things like snoring, tethered tissue, and extractions like wisdom teeth, as well as other surgeries. Check him out today at omahalaserdentistry.com. Discounts may be available for F3 Omaha members. Now, let's get back to the Glue-OOM.
And we're live.
Nice.
From the Nomad. This is the Glue-OOM. Stripes here, sitting in the co-pilot seat again with, of course, the hostess with the mostest.
Oh, yeah.
Plague and our man of the hour.
Ditka.
The man, Ditka.
Definitely.
So,
It's an honor to be here.
right on. Appreciate you making time. Let's jump right into it, where we always do. Tell us about your EH story. Who kind of got you out?
Yeah.
Who else might have been involved slightly?
Okay.
And how you got your name and that first beatdown.
Love it. Okay. Definitely. I'll make sure I hit all those details there for you. First of all, thank you so much, Plague. Obviously, Stripes, you and I go way back and appreciate the opportunity to be here to tell my story.
Yeah.
Faithful listener. So just happy to be part of the lineup now. But yeah, so let's jump into it. I had heard about F3, just like everybody else, for probably about a year before it really started. And actually, I heard from Stripes. So whether individuals who are listening do or don't know, Stripes and I worked together in a previous life, developed a really strong relationship. And he kept talking about this thing that he was going to and working out, and he'd get up early in the mornings. And just like you probably heard from everybody else on the podcast, that was not my lifestyle at that time. And was more focused on other things and other priorities in my life that I thought were more important. And then what happened was, it was kind of the tall tale of multiple, what I'd call hymns now, that were nudging me along to do a beatdown. And so once I had Stripes kind of come in and giving me some, and he was very respectful about it, right?
Because you were my boss, so I couldn't be like, yeah, you need to go.
Do this thing, right? But, our relationship extended further than that. And I really, looked at Stripes as somebody like, hey, he's doing something pretty impressive here. It looks like he's around a group of guys that are pushing him and making him a better person. And then I had influence from some other folks. So, Break Room, whether you do or don't know, Break Room and I go way back. We went to high school together. We went to college together. We roomed together. He probably doesn't, he will tell you that he probably appreciates that we roomed together when we did. And we never want to make that decision again. But Break Room and I have a phenomenal relationship. I'm his godfather of his child. He's godfather of my children. He was best man in my wedding. I was officiant in his wedding. So him coming out and talking about and seeing his physical journey or physical fitness journey, and then his father, who is like a second father to me, right? Q-Tip, one of the legendary him that are out there with the respect on that one. Whether you do or don't know, is almost like a second dad to me. And so him coming out here, showing that he can do these workouts, finally got me around. So actually, the funny story about my first Beatdown as we get to that, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do this thing, right? Stripes. And I was traveling, and the kind of a thing would be a theme of maybe our discussion here is work travel. But I was traveling, and I got back on a Wednesday, and I was supposed to meet Break Room, Q-Tip, and Stripes. You were going to be there too at the Maze on Thursday, right? Mm-hmm. One of the OG sites. Mm-hmm. The Maze is what they told me, but they actually gave me the physical location, right?
Yeah.
And that night, it was one of those horrible spring storms, right? Because it was May 2nd. I was supposed to be my first Beatdown. I remember my dates pretty well there. And it was pouring rain. I got up, and it was like, it was horrible rain. And Q-Tip and Break Room, and I know Stripes, you remember this. And I was like messaging my mom, I'm not coming. And like they actually drove to the site, they told me, and then they even left because it was so bad at that point in time. So then I was like, okay, I will be there the next day. And so as we all know, Friday, just in the backyard where we're doing this podcast is the Armory. Mm. And so I showed up to the Armory, right? And May 3rd, Cutting Edge was the cue. And at that point in time, he had us running in parking lots. We were doing burpees. We were running back and forth this thing. And I was winded, right? Like and actually I did kind of a timestamp at that point. I weighed 268 pounds at that point in time, was very out of shape. Let's just put it that way. And I was like, damn, this is hard. This was hard, But what it did though, it gave me this nostalgia feeling of, like, one of the things you'll feel with me is like, I love team sports. I love the grind. I love the process. It brought me back to like 2 days of football in high school and even in college when I played. It was banding together, doing something hard, right? Everything that we always talk about here at F3. But it was like, oh, this is like, I like this. Like, this is something I want to do more of, and I want to be part of this. And so Armory, we got done with the Beatdown, right? And they go through the whole naming process. And there was another him. It was their first day as well, right? They were in F&G. And then it came to me. And so my name initially, I was going to be called Squirts, to be honest with you. And this was one of these ones where I think Stripes, you stepped in, and then I know Break Room stepped in. It was like, I don't know if that's what we're going to call him. And we can get to that story later. If anybody ever wants to come and chat with me about Squirts, you can. We'll talk about that later. But at that point in time, though, I had a bear logo like hat on, right? And it's called the Normal brand. And I had shared with them that I really enjoy coaching and I really enjoy, leading people. And they're like, Coach's bear. It wasn't even the bear logo, like the Chicago Bears logo, right? Yeah. It was this bear. And they're like, Ditka. And I was like, oh, heck yeah. Like, I can play with that. Like, it can be worse, right? And so I got the name Ditka, and I was like, yep, we're sticking with that. And I still remember driving home that day, and I failed to mention his name, but Bogey was also a big influence on me getting out there, right? Bogey and I go way back. Our children are very good friends. Our wives are very good friends. Our M's are very good friends. And I remember Bogey driving me because he picked me up. Actually, he picked me up for the Army that day. Now I remember, and he drove me home that day. And I remember being like, "Damn, man, that was hard, but I want more of that." Yeah. Right? And then there was the Oracle the next day, and then it was like the next week I had to do a quick travel, and I know that there were a bunch of like Break Room that were like, "Yeah, you ain't coming out." And I remember you were like, "I don't know if we'll see if he comes back out." And I remember that because I got back from work that Wednesday, and that next Thursday was at the Maze again. Yeah. And then from there it just spiraled into what I now consider to be like a imperative part of my life, a vital part of my day going forward. And then as we'll kind of get to here in a bit, how it's kind of shaped me to who I am today.
I think we're going to need to hear the squirts.
All right. I'll give you the quick version for the people at home. Okay. So in high school, and everybody knows this, I'm pretty proud of this. I went to Scott, right? And so, people have their comments, whatever. I love it. It's good. It's good banter, right? I like to give the Bennington boys a little hard time, right? So I'm at Scott. This is circa 2003. At Scott, you have a lot of half days where, there's a lot of saints that have things going on. And the Catholic school, if they can find any point in time, they can take school off. They do. We had a half day. That half day was in the spring. Later that day, we had baseball tryouts for varsity baseball. I was fortunate enough as a sophomore to play on varsity baseball. This is my junior year. Tryouts were still very important, right?
Yeah.
But in between then, the big thing back in like 2003 was to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, right? If mom gave you like, $10, you could get a pot of wings for a time. And I always prided myself on being an eater, if you want to call it that. And so my buddies dared me to eat those 24 blazing wings. Those are the hottest wings that you have. The rules of it, where you stay sitting. We refill your drink for you. What type of drink would you want? And I was like, lemonade. I'll have lemonade, but because you're not going to feel anything after the first couple of wings, right? And needless to say, we get let out at noon that day. We drive over to the Buffalo Wild Wings, and a bunch of friends are there. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. And if I did it, I won a bunch of money, or I can't remember what it was. For me, it was more of a pride factor, right? If I say I'm going to do something, do it, right? Sit down, everyone's watching me, and they're taking my cup and they're filling it up with lemonade, right? I think they're filling it up with lemonade. So not only am I hammering through all 24 blazers, which by the way, finished that within like 40 minutes. And I mean, there was no big deal. I mean, you lose sense of feeling after a while. You just push through it, just like some beatdowns. But as they were filling it up, they put a whole bottle of lemon flavored X-Lax into this thing. So not only did I have 24 blazing wings, but I drank what would be, I think, 8 to 12 doses of X-Lax, more than you should have. And so later that day, keep in mind, we had baseball tryouts. So then we leave and I'm like, and your stomach is hurting a little bit, right? You're like, whatever. I ate 24 wings. I'll work through this. I'm young. I'm athletic. I get to the baseball tryouts and I'm playing third base and I'm standing at third and I can't even bend over to field the ball. Because I'm like, something bad's going to happen, man. I'm like, trust me, it ain't going to be pretty. And I'm like leaning up against the fence. Well, everybody was in on it. I didn't know at that time that the X-Lax was in there yet. And so I didn't know it. And I'm like leaning up and all my buddies and the team are laughing and even the coaches are laughing. And I finally turn to them and I'm like, I got to go. And I run from the baseball field into Scud, if you've ever been there, and there's a little bit of a distance. And by run, I mean aggressively sprinting and clinching, we'll put it that way. And I break into the school. And of course, it's this, remember the high schools where they don't have doors, but you kind of do the wraparound thing to go to the bathroom? Well, the dance team girls are sitting right outside the boys' room. I come running in there and you can put 2 and 2 together from there. And so Squirts was kind of my name. And luckily I was dismissed from the tryout. Fortunately, was still able to make the team. And that was by Squirts. So,
we could have come up with like hot sauce.
It could have been a lot of things, right? Yeah. It could have been a lot of things.
Ditka's still good. It's a good fit. I
love it.
I am curious. Would love to hear more about like some of your sports adventures. Right? It sounds like you played football, baseball, even some college football. Talk us through that.
Definitely, and kind of taps back into like why I love certain aspects of F3, right? And one thing I love about F3 is everybody can kind of take their own journey with it. And so I apply it to my sport. So I was very fortunate to have a pretty successful sports career. I was able to play 2 varsity sports at Scott, starting as a sophomore. Played baseball and football. Developed phenomenal relationships. If we're going to go down glory days, right? We won 3 state titles in American Legion baseball for Scott. We were getting that football program up and off the ground, and really took a lot of pride in that. And that's kind of who I was, right? I was very much like an athlete. Didn't me in school, I was good enough I could always get by. But I really pride myself on that. And that's what installed some of the personality, the characteristics that I have today. Like the one thing about me, I think, Stripes, you can attest to this, is like, I'm here to win. And I'm like, I want to go into Foxhole with people that want to go into Foxhole with me. And nothing against me if you don't want to, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And like that whole Michael Jordan documentary is like, well, like, because you never won. It's like, you don't know what it's like because you never won. You know what I mean? And it's like, I know what it's like to win. I know how to win.
Yeah.
Now, I failed more than I've won, but it's like, one of the things that I loved about it was the team aspect of it, was like the grind, was the working out, the practices. Like, you ask any of my buddies, I busted my ass at practices, man. Like, I did everything I could to try to better myself, to push the team, to be a leader. Probably was a little bit too much at times. And even something that I've recognized for myself here at F3, and we'll talk about that in a second, but sports installed for me this like win at all costs mentality, but with like preparation and work that needs to be put in. I'm a big like process guy, so I've applied that to my life today. I work, in in a pretty high-paced world of like healthcare SaaS-based sales, backed by venture capital firms that are always asking where that money's going. I live to be where high expectations are.
Yeah.
Like, no offense, there's amazing things that are out there and everybody has their own path in life. But like, I want to be put in high pressure situations. I want those high expectations. Yeah. Like, do I probably know what I'm doing half the time? No. But like, I'll figure it out. Like, because like, I will get the job done. And so it developed in me that mindset. Playing college sports, even leveled that up even more. I was fortunate to play, college baseball for all 4 years, played a couple years of college football. At the NAIA level, again, loved it. But getting hit repeatedly in football at the NAIA level, I can see why those guys are getting their money in the NFL. But I just wasn't, my body just couldn't hold up anymore. But sports set me up for success. Sports I use a lot of the principles that I had developed, learned, and even from losses into my personal life today. And I just have this mentality of like, if I'm going to do something, it's going to be 100%.
Yeah.
And it's going to be with the boys who want to run in the Foxhole with me. And if they're in there with me, like, we're all coming back out together. Do you see what I'm saying? And so like I tell and I got this fun group right now. We call them the Wolf Pack, right? We call them the Wolf Pack here. And so I like to get people going, I like to say things to get people going a little bit. I know, sometimes probably rubs people the wrong way, but whatever. Not too worried about that. But this Wolf Pack, like, I love, like, this morning we got done, we did the Murph down at the combine, and you run down into Cottonwood there and you run back up that hill, right? And like nothing, like I get this feeling like when you crest that hill with the boys and you're like bringing the horses home, like I always like, let's go feed the women, children, let's go take care of business, let's come back home and do our work. And that mentality has carried through. So sports has been just a huge factor in my life. And something that if my children continue to pursue, that I will support as well, because again, I think it sets us all up for success. And I know you both can relate to that as well.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. It's so cool, right? Just to hear all these lessons learned, and then F3 sort of being a later in life chance for you to like reignite that and use that to motivate other men, right? Because I think that's one of the things I've loved about you, not just the white shorts that you wear all the time, but also your energy, right? Like being at the flag pass, like it's contagious, right? Like when you're up there and you're like, let's go, we're going to do this. Like everybody else sort of gets that. And then and then we all push harder, right?
Totally.
Which is so cool. Talk us through a little bit, so you're all in on F3. What sort of progress have you seen on that, like sort of first physical fitness side? Like because you're doing Murphs, 10 or 12 a week. And I don't know the actual number, but
I was trying to. And I can't keep up with Edger and Mr. Rogers, and even Tooth Fairy's getting after it, man. Trying to represent your Bennington boys over there. So the first F from a fitness standpoint, just to kind of put a TLDR on it, I am about 225, which I think is a pretty healthy weight for myself. Obviously, I have aspirations to continue to improve upon that. But what waking up in the morning and working out has done to me is actually, like they always say, your success happens the night before, right? It's the preparation for it. And like I used to be this individual that could eat a lot, like we talked about, right? I mean, if you really want to, I can sit down and put it back. Like I was best any F3 boy in the world. Like we'll do some sushi, some wings, whatever you want. But like I would aggressively eat late into the night, which would, as you know, friend, when you get older, you don't really digest very well. And so what it has done, it put a discipline in my life that I looked forward to those beatdowns. I look forward to getting together with the Wolf Pack, and I want to perform well when I'm there, right? Because like to me, as you probably started to indicate, like if I'm half-assing something, like that's just not for me. Like, I just moved on. Like, and I don't want to show up that way. I think life is all about how you show up. And so F3 has given me the discipline that I need, but it's also fun for me. Like, and it motivates me just to be better in every aspect of life. And like, I want to take a step back actually, because, before I found F3, like, I'm not gonna lie, like things are good. I'm not like trying to play. Like I have a phenomenal M, which I want to make sure I allow some time for her in a second. I have beautiful children, healthy children, successful jobs. Things are going very well for me, good friends, golf and all that. But to me, as you start to see, like complacency breeds failure. I have all these weird little sayings, and some of the boys can tell you about it, but complacency breeds failure. And like for like my mid 30s, basically from like when I was like probably 29, when I got married, until about 38, like I was just kind of status quo because I was good enough to get by with things. Like, and I say that with a very respectful manner. Like I'm trying to be humble here. But things were meh. But like, then I read this book. It was called Good to Great, right? And I read this book. It's Jim Collins' book. Probably a lot of y'all have read this book. It was actually more about companies, and it kind of identifies like you can be a good company or a good person, but like you want to be great. Yeah. Like you got to do these things, and these sacrifices need to happen. And F3 has been the tool for me to go from good to great in every aspect of my life. Like you asked break room, you asked some of these boys, I'm a better husband. I'm a better father. I am a better leader at my job. I'm a better friend because of F3 and because F3 is the tool or the engine that I use to say, okay, that's good, but I want to be great. Like I want to push myself. If like this whole mentality, and we say it a lot, right? You do hard things that get you ready for everything else. Like I wholeheartedly believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so my whole like journey over the past 2.5, 3 years with F3 and the fitness side, and as applied it to the faith and the fellowship side for me is like level up.
Mm-hmm.
Like complacency breeds failure. Like, wow, good job, dude. You're like, you have that, I'm like, I don't want that. I want more.
Yeah.
And like, that's not for everybody. That's okay. But I want more. And like, so F3 to me is that tool, is that platform to go from good to great in every aspect of my life. And that means making sacrifices, right? And that means, putting in the work, the discipline, understanding it's going to be a lot of failure until we get there.
Mm-hmm.
But, you look at like a Q-tip and 71 years old, right? And like, so like, I would love to be able to do that and hit a golf. I got to recently go golfing with him in break room up in Valentine, Nebraska. And this guy's hitting every fairway, walking with us. I mean, I'm dying. It's hot out there, and he's wanting to go play another 9 holes, So like, that's a good to great mentality that I'm trying to spread across all aspects of my life. So yes, it's directly affecting the first F, but it is also directly affecting like my fellowship, right? As well. And everybody can say this, but I have developed some phenomenal relationships here through F3 and some individuals that I would never been turned on to in my life, right? Like, and again, that's because I've been so short-sighted in what I've done. I think this is who I need to be with and who I need to be hanging out with. And to hear, obviously the keyword, the vulnerability, right? Those types of things. And just getting to know some of these people, that's okay to have these types of feelings. It's okay to deal with this type of stuff because I would just suppress everything.
Yeah.
And, to be able to openly talk about it, but hear that others are dealing with the same thing, right? Because sometimes in life you sit there and think, this is only happening to me. Like all the bad stuff in life is only happening to me. It's like, no, everyone's dealing with it, man. Everyone's dealing with it, but it's like, how? That's like a keyword. How are we dealing with it? And are we doing it in a productive manner? Are we going from good to great or are we not? So leveraging my friendships and the relationships I built in F3, with a lot of these key guys, has also leveled me up, right? And then from a faith standpoint as well. I went to a Catholic high school. I am of the Catholic faith. I'm a big believer though, in just like you treat others how you want to be treated. And I believe that, through Christ, all things can be done. You can rattle off any Bible verse that you want right now, but, I've also leveled up from that standpoint. And that is, maybe the Catholic faith isn't just for me. Maybe, and I'm kind of exploring some other things at times too. But I know that I can be a better person and a better servant of our Lord. And I know that he has bigger things for me. And so it's like, get ready for those big things, go from good to great. Yeah. Right. So like, those are kind of the aspects and how F3 is applied to all the 3 Fs for me. I do have to say, and I know I'm hogging the mic here, but I guess it is my.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
You know me. I'm like, I'm gonna take advantage. You give me a platform, man. You better cut me off. Better tell me when they're hard stops. Right? So please hit me with that. I have to give tremendous amount of gratitude to my M. She's phenomenal. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, I am a saint. They call her Saint Shannon, right? Because like she has to put up with me, right? And like I have a lot to deal with. I bring a lot to the table, right? And for some people it's not, but she is my rock. She is a reason why I've been able to level up to go from good to great. She right now has taken a pause from her career to be with our children, to be at home, and the development of our children is a decision we've made. Again, everybody has their own decisions in life. But I travel quite a bit. I'm actually almost gone once a week for at least a night or two, which, to be very honest with you, I loathe. But she allows me the platform and prepares me and helps me get ready so I can, when I am gone, I'm showing up my best. So that if I am gone, it better be worth it. Just like everything else in my life, better be worth it, right? And so everything she takes care of at home, she takes care of me emotionally, she takes care of our children. I never have to worry about anything. So I just want to make sure I take a moment here to thank her. And just, I know, that things can be tough at times, but we have a phenomenal relationship and she gets me, and she's about the only one that can like talk me down on some of this stuff. And so I sincerely appreciate her and what she does for me and allowing our family to continue to level up as well.
I love that. That's awesome. Lots to unpack there.
Yeah, that's good.
I want to go back a little bit because I've always known you as a leader. And as you talked about personality traits, I was thinking before this, when I think about Ditka, I think of intense. I think of competitive. I think of high energy, like we talked about, right? And so that's the only Ditka that I've ever known. But I am kind of curious to go back to that sophomore, that freshman, that have you always had that high intensity? The name is very fitting, obviously, too, with Ditka. It just kind of worked itself out. But have you always been that way? You talked about how your leadership has accelerated through F3, but I've only known you as a leader.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious as to what was it like, before that? Have you, is just that part of your DNA or where does all that come from?
That's a great question. My initial reaction is it is part of my DNA, and here's why. Okay. So my father went to West Point. Very proud of that. Very proud of what he's had and how he served for our country, and obviously sincerely appreciate everything that you've done, Stripes. It's one thing I just admire about you. But like my dad and me had a very challenging relationship growing up, right? And he would admit that and tell that to you as well. We have a phenomenal relationship now, which again, we're still trying to level up, right? But it was like bred into me. It was like, you are a leader. You will be a leader. I'm firstborn, kind of have, all these little things play into it. I even call them intangibles, but that has kind of been me ever since I can remember. I always wanted to be first. I always wanted to be seen, as I mentioned to you earlier, as one who can handle expectations because I know I can. And so that really has been me. But, there is another side of me though. Like I'll be really honest with you. Like it's I do suppress a lot of feelings at times. Been a lot of downfalls too. Like there's been times when I haven't felt, been the leader, haven't been the right person. That's okay. And, again, F3 has given me that platform and that avenue to work through some of those things. I'll talk about those here in a second. But one of the best things that F3 did for me, though, when you say leader, was like it taught me how to be a different leader. Like everyone's like, oh, you can be a servant leader, you can be an intentional leader. You read all these books and you get on LinkedIn. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm a leader. Like, okay, yeah. Just because you have VP next to you, don't mean you're vice president. You know what I mean? Vice president of who? None. You know what I mean? Type thing. But leader, like I take that so seriously, right? Like how do you want to show up? And having the flag, the wolf den, like I loved it. Like I did love it, right? At the same time, but also like humbled me. Because if you see me at like Beatdowns and stuff, like I want to be out in front. I want to be running. I'm like, if I'm here, we are going to work. And it taught me how to, and I said this, as how to lead from the back, right? And like the whole wolf pack mentality, right? There's easy play in there. Whether you do or don't know, wolf is my second favorite animal, right? So there's that there. So it all worked out pretty awesome there. But it taught me how to lead from the back. And like, I mean, I remember still like, and again, nothing against it, but like making sure we always get the 6 and always being back and having your phone with you and knowing the address of the school, like all these things I never really think about. Because I'm like, well, just go get the job done. Like, I don't care where it's done, just get the job done. You know what I mean? And then it would teach me like, okay, and I like had to like physically tell myself, slow down, be intentional about this. And that actually relayed into how I lead my sales team across the country and almost like taking a back seat to things. Because as you can see, I'll jump in the front seat real quick. Like, like you give me an opening, I'm there. But like take the step back and let other people lead. Like that, as being a good leader is allowing that platform for others to lead as well. And that taught me a lot. But yes, it's right to your point. It has who I am. I guess I don't really know any different, but I know well enough that I can alter how I'm a leader and how I show up and how I can continue to accelerate as a leader, right? I think it's kind of an infinite measuring stick there as well. So, yeah.
It's cool, right? Because true leadership is knowing when to apply those different methods, right? When do you need to step up and get in the front seat and drive to teach other people versus when do you need, lead from the back? And so I think for all of us in F3, I mean, I think that's the major lesson because the world sort of says leadership is out front and be the influencer and do all the posting on Instagram and whatever. But like true leadership is knowing when to apply those models. So I love that you learned that. I am curious. So one of my pet peeves is when we go out of order with first, second, and third F, but it's okay.
Yeah, I know. I jumped to the third pretty quick on you there
because I really want to unpack. You started talking about kind of in this second F thing because part of what I want guys to get from your story is how do they navigate this? Because guys that don't have your energy, I think, kind of struggle with. How do I get in a shield lock? How do I really develop those true wolf pack relationships? Because we all want and need that, but I don't know that we all benefit, right? We've got guys that have been in F3 for 6-7 years that haven't had a shield lock. So I am curious, talk us through would love to hear, as you're thinking about like the concentrica, you talked about your M a little bit. Would love to hear about the parenting aspect. Like, how have your kids interpreted this dad recess thing? And then would love to hear about shield lock and would also love to hear, you touched on your dad a little bit, but I know he's going through some stuff right now.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I don't know, however you want to tackle those.
No, I'm going to stay in order for you this time. How about that?
Appreciate
right?
that. This is your show.
No, and I sincerely appreciate the platform. So as far as from a family aspect and from a children aspect, they love it, right? They actually have their own names as well. My son is Puma.
Nice.
Because he had a Puma shirt on that day and he really liked big cats at that time. And how your kids go through these phases, right? His favorite football team was like the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know. But anyways, and then my daughter, her name was Aces. She likes to play volleyball, so Aces sort of thing. Okay, so that being said, I have been able to bring them to 2.0 beatdowns and those types of things. But they know that this is my routine. This is my thing. They ask about F3, but they have seen me show up in a different manner, right? And so the biggest thing that F3 has done for me is from that standpoint is like prioritization. Yeah. Okay. Cause like one thing about me, as you probably see, is I'm also like a socialite. Like I'll talk to anybody. Yeah. I'll talk to the janitor. I'll talk to the CEO, and I can talk to you. I no offense. I can talk to you about anything. Yeah. And I can make people talk. Kind of just lean to my next point here. But like, I have this ability to socialize and to be around people and all that stuff. But like priorities, like I would be like going and hang out with my friends, maybe not spend time with the children as much. Right. Or when I travel, what that's like I'm trying to be home a lot. And I've had guys in F3 say like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I don't know how you travel so much, how you keep like things at home good. Again, tip of the cap to my M. But also like the influence you have on your children, right? Because these are moments and times that you'll never get back. And I wholeheartedly understand that the circumstance that I am in requires me to travel. Yeah. Do I want that to end at some point in time? You bet your butt, right? But here's what I've done. I've doubled down on my time with him. So when I am home, that phone sits somewhere else. When I am home, we are going to do activities. Dad is here. He is fully present. And I hate to be this way, but I challenge some people sometimes. I'm like, you get the opportunity to be home all the time. Are you really doing it though? Like, are you really present? Like, it's one thing to be in the room, and you both know this, and it's another thing to be in the room. And when I say be in the room, like I emphasize that, I mean, that is direct interaction with your children. That is doing and participating in the activities that they want to be in. And I know that they've seen that because they said it to me. They're like, Dad, when you are here, like, thank you so much. We love you. We can't wait to see you. Thanks for spending so much time with us. Like they make these like, because they're the ages now, like I got almost a 10-year-old. Like she kind of gets it. She's like, oh, thank you so much for, like, no, I'm always here. Like, you don't have to thank me. You know what I mean? Like you thank me by being a good person in your life. Just be a good human being. Right. And so that influence has come into play there. But I made sure I want to say that is like, I have now shifted my priorities to like when I'm home, like I'm not golfing as much. And you can ask any of my buddies, and that's okay. I'll get back to that at some point in time in my life. But the happy hours and those types of things, they actually kind of gone away because I want to be ready in the morning, as we were talking about earlier. Also, if I go out and have a happy hour, it's never just one, right? And there's nothing, don't have an issue right now or anything of that nature. But at the same time, I do like to socialize. Right? You know what I mean? I like to talk and talk all your brain out. So priorities, my children, family from that standpoint has helped me show up better, right? Everyone wants to talk about their show up. And now when I'm home, like I just got back from New York City earlier this week. Come on a Wednesday afternoon at 4, race home, make sure I get an opportunity to spend quality time with my children, be seen, right? And then, asking those questions to them. So I know that they see that in me. That was not the case before. I would prioritize other friends and events and sporting things of my life over theirs. And, I've even had to tell like my golf league, I'm not going to be able to participate next year. That's okay. Like, it's going to pain me a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm like, it's okay. And I will be back there at some point in time. But right now, God needs me here. And the platform of F3 is helping me be more present and prioritize that.
What a great reminder. Just to putting your phone down. Like I don't travel at all for work, but like it's still hard for me. So I think you're spot on with like how to just be in the room, actually in the room. So I appreciate you saying that.
Definitely. I always try to challenge guys on that because it's a challenge for me as well. Do not get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and tell you like I'm perfect. You know what I mean? But I try to mentally or like physically put that phone somewhere else. And there's things everybody can do to show up better, I think.
Yeah. This can be hopefully a good segue into your dad, but you mentioned how obviously him having been at the West Point Military Academy shaped kind of you. I'm curious as a parent, I know your kids are semi-young now, but they're starting to get older, 10 and, doing, I know they'll do sports and I know that they'll be competitive. I know it's in their genetics. But from a parenting style, are you already planting those seeds? And this is probably a loaded question, but are you already planting those seeds to set them up to be leaders in everything that they do? Just because, that's kind of the way that you were parented, or talk us through kind of that parenting style that you've maybe potentially adopted.
Definitely. That's a really good question. So there has been an I have altered the parenting style, right? And then that is a lot of what I've talked about with F3 has given me that platform to do that. The parenting style before was like yell, was immediate blame, and oftentimes just fly off the hinge. Like, and I think we've all probably been there, right? And I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's like I'm perfect today. There's still some moments where I'm like, holy Lord, help me, somebody come down, because it's not going to be pretty, right? But, I did have a very strict lifestyle growing up. I'm not going to lie to you. Like the expectations were very high. And I desperately seek that approval, and I believe I got it. And it's not that my father and my mother weren't giving that to me, but the expectations were high. And then, back then there's this kind of new, I don't know what the term is, like soft parenting now. I don't know what they call it. Like, but parenting back then, like, I'm like, holy cow, man, kids, you guys, you have no clue what it'd be like, like this stuff happened, and so I have taken a lot of what I had, what was taught to me, and kind of those expectations. I'm not gonna lie, those expectations are still very real with my children and our parenting style. And Shannon, my M, is on the same wavelength as I am too. Like, that's what I love about her. Like, we have the same, like, if we're gonna do something, we're gonna do it. Like, we're going hard at it. However, though, I think like with anything in life, you need to alter, or you need to be able to curate the parenting style to what's the reality today, but also still holding on to the true values and the expectations that are set. And so, for example, like with my children, I'm a big believer in, like, you manifest your destiny. Like, we live in the greatest country of the world, right? Like, I get people, there's hard things that happen to people, but it's like, man, you live in the greatest country, you can do anything. You really can. And like, everyone's like, oh, you can do anything, put your mind to it. Like this is a country where you can do whatever you want, right? So I believe in manifesting you like, no one's coming to save you. I'm so sorry. Like, this world we're living in, I see this more and more, and it's like, everyone's just like, because they've been let loose on this and that. It's like, someone will help me out. Someone will fix it. I'm like, no, ain't nobody fixing that shit. Like, you have to be the one that decides that. And so I'm a big believer in manifesting. So here's like something we do. Like, we're in the car, we'll drop them off for school, or if I'm ever leaving them. And it's kind of an easy play on words, right? I'm a big word guy. I say McCann's can, and I'll be like, who are we? And like, my kids will say, we're McCann's. And I'm like, why? Because we can. And like, in our house, we don't say the word can't. Like, if like my little man Carter, or even my 4-year-old, who's going to be, she'll be my athlete. She'll be something. If she says can't, like my Shannon's like, we don't say that. I don't know what you're talking about. That's a foreign word in our house. Can't is not a word we say in this house. And so I want to install in my children this parenting style of, yes, there are expectations. I'm not your friend. Love you. Down the road, we'll get maybe down there, but like, I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
Like, Tim will tell you, like, he's like, I'm not your friend for the next 45 minutes, right? He'll say something like that, right? Yeah. Like, and so wait time will tell you, I'm not your friend. And that's kind of the same mentality. I was like, oh, it's kind of, because I love my children. Expectations are definitely set. Now, is there some give and take and some reality with it? For sure. But there also, the expectation is that, like, we manifest our destiny, right? And like, whatever you want to do, like, we'll fully support you, but you have to want to do it. And like, if there comes a time like you don't want to do the practice, that's fine. It's just not going to be for you, right? And so we're very clear cut with that. And a lot of like my father's expectations and like the way we do things are still installed. Like, when we're having a 90s summer, to be honest, we like no tablets, no screens. Like, oh, you're tired? Well, there's little Billy and Timmy outside. Get on your scooter and go over there, right? You know what I mean? Or get on your bike and go over there and play, and come home when the lights are down, and let's go to bed. So expectations have been set, but it's begin because I have that stability in F3. I know can pull from different areas. Like, I'm a big, I like learn from this, learn from that, and then create your own model. And that's the model we've created. And expectations we've set.
That's awesome.
I love it. Talk us through kind of where you're at with your dad today.
Yeah. So again, as my dad's been a key theme here, and I just can't thank him enough for everything that he has done for me and continues to do for me and for our children. He's the best grandpa out there. Unfortunately, over the past year and a half, we started to see some cognitive declines with my father, and recently, and to his own a testament is we went and got a couple opinions done, and has recently been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and pretty devastating news. If you allow it to be devastating, in my opinion, right? So like my dad's mentality, right, was West Point Ranger, like all these types of things. Like, no, we're gonna tackle this. Like, fine, another challenge. Let's go through this together, right? However, though, it kills me inside. Like, just absolutely breaks me down inside, right? Because I've seen this man who is so cognitively there and so assertive and like very much like me. Like, he knew where he stands and everything, and like whether you like it or not is what it is from him. Like, but this recent decline has been a big challenge on the family, and especially like my mom. She's the one at home dealing with a lot of it, but at the same time, he's not allowing it to define who he is. Unfortunately, there's not a cure for this right now. Sometimes, and I hate to be this way, but sometimes people will say that I'd rather them have cancer than Alzheimer's, which just is such a horrible thing, I think, to say just in general, but that has been said to me. But I will tell you this, so I queued at, cause I didn't tell anybody about this for a long time. I mean, I know my dad like back, man, I saw stuff a long time ago, and then, and then we got to the point, but I didn't tell the wolf pack. I didn't tell any of them like what's going on. And I remember being like, I need to say something like this F3 creates the platform for that. And I should use the tools that God gives me. Right. And so I queued at Paradise, Spokes had me on the queue about a month and a half ago. And it was a running site that we went and did our run, got back. And then I was like, I'm letting people know here. And I'm like, and there's this mentality that I've had all throughout F3. Again, I got these sayings, right? It's like, I do it anyways. Like floaties can tell you, like I'm like, we do it anyways. Like wake up in the morning, like every morning when I get out of bed, I do it anyways. Have to, unfortunately let people go from work. I do it anyways. Like life is part of that stuff. Like whether it's good or bad, I do it anyways mentality. And so like with my dad, it's like, and this COT that I was talking through, we were going, and every time we stopped, I always ask him like, what's something that you don't want to do, but you do anyways? And a couple of the hymns would say something they would do. And I wanted it to culminate to this COT that I had was like, hey, this past Sunday, I went and had to do an Alzheimer's training or like, learn more about it. Do you think I want to go sit in that session? No. The worst thing, I will not, I did everything I could. I want to do that. You know what? I do it anyways because I know I need to do this to show up better for my dad, to be there for these types of people. And so, and I know my dad would be very appreciative of that. But yeah, I will be honest with you. It's hard. Breaks my damn heart. But at the same time, we can let define who we are. We're going to tackle it head on. And I'm proud of him. He wants to do some clinical trials, wants to do all these other things. And you know what? There's a lot of people in life that would give up. And I'm like, no, we ain't giving up, baby.
Yeah.
Like, kick and scream and take me out, baby, out of the game here. And I know that's the same mentality he has, but it breaks my heart. And, unfortunately, I also have a brother that I don't speak to anymore, 2 years younger than me. And I really don't want to unpack that right now. Some pretty horrible situations occurred, but so there's just some things in life, that everybody has, right? I'm sitting here and been telling these stories about awesome. Well, look at Brian, but there's also this other side. I just choose to deal with it a little differently.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, no, like, we'll tell you, you can respect it for what it is, but like, we're going to go after this. We're going to win. Right.
How has the shield lock concept and the wolf pack sort of helped you? Cause life gets hard, right? If you bottle that up and you don't ever have a place to at least like acknowledge it's there, right? Yeah. Even if you're going to move forward and not let it define you. Cause I love that. Right. But how has the wolf pack sort of shield lock concept kind of helped you develop in that space?
Definitely. And I failed to answer one of your questions there, but it relates to this here real quickly. So like, if you have any advice, I had any advice for like fellow him who want to be part of shield locks or want to get, have deeper relationships, if that's what you want to call that. I've always been a big believer of asking questions, and probably that's a salesperson in me, right? Is like, ask questions. Like, if you ever think about it, like the greatest thing that you can do is empower somebody.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's a lot of times where like, I know the answers to questions, no offense, but I'm going to ask you. Because I want your opinion. I want you to feel empowered to tell me, to educate me, right? Think about when you get your dopamine hits. It's when you're educating people. When you're like, you come to me and I'm helping you out. I'm filling voids for you, right? And so what I would tell the fellow him is like, go ask questions. Like I just go ask guys questions. I still remember, Plague, we were at the Wolf Den. It was probably my 20th or 30th beatdown. And I started asking you questions. I'm just like, because I could see who you were. Like you were a leader, man. Like you stood out, but like in the right ways. I was like asking you questions, like, wow, like what's going on with you? And you're like, well, guess what, man? And you told me your story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. like this guy, like, I mean, I look like but like, because you always just see like this one side of somebody.
Yeah.
But that allowed me then to be vulnerable. So then I transitioned into the fact like ask people questions. And sometimes I believe in manifesting your own destiny. Ask someone if they want to be part of a shield lock. Like if you're feeling a bond, like you like, come on, you're a human being. If you feel a bond, like ask them, hey, do you want to get coffee or like, do you want to do this? Like you can be intentional with your actions. And I know for some guys, like maybe that might be like overstepping, and I get that. But like, I guess, I don't know any other way than to just ask questions. And then also like, you'll find the right people. Like some people align differently, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But like, I think it kind of happens a little naturally. I think you guys can probably attest to that. I also think it's just like, I don't know, man, you kind of develop a love for the guys. You know what I mean? It's the consistency of showing up. And so like with the Wolf Pack, like I saw Edger and Mr. Rogers last summer, like really getting after this Murph challenge, which is kind of, coincidentally another year later here. I want to be part of that. But what the Wolfpack has allowed me to do, and where I've gotten to now with like my dad's story and stuff, is like, I would hear like Mr. Rogers telling his story, and Edger telling his story. And like, they were just so open with me. And I'm like, wait, but like, you don't really know me. Like, you don't know Bryant behind a Zoom screen, but you have it. You know what I mean? Like, Bryant, fun Bryant, haha. And I'm like, you're just going to tell me these? And I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, this is the right type of place for it. And I was like, and so I can't thank the Wolfpack enough. There's like Deny. There's a bunch of other guys that we throw into the mix here. But I will tell you, it's like it's another level of like F3 that I love, because it's like, okay, that's our spot. Like here's what I talk about. And like I told those guys about my dad before I told the COT, right? Or before I did my COT about what was going on. And so it allows that avenue. But like for me, one thing I love about it is like it's consistency.
Yeah.
It's consistency of just like, I see the same guys there. I know they're going through it. They know what I'm going through as well. And we're doing it together. And that's like, to me, going back to what I'm talking about, like running the Foxhole, baby, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. So that would be what I would say for that.
I love it. I always love the shield lock concept, and because guys in F3 don't just tell you what you want to hear.
No.
And so like, Stripes this morning, I was complaining about work, and he's like, well, you're just taking it too personally. And I'm like, well, no, I wanted you to bash my boss with me.
Yeah. Come on, what's up?
But he didn't do that. One of the things I'm curious that kind of weaves its way throughout your story is the faith piece, and would just love to kind of hear. You mentioned growing up kind of in the Catholic Church, I assume. But talk us through kind of how your faith has grown over the years.
Totally. So, it's been an interesting journey. At the core of everything, I again believe kind of, that I believe there's one, there's God. I believe he does amazing things through us. I know miracles are happening all the time. But when you grow up and you went to a high school like Scott, right? It's like, and again, it's like, it's very Catholic forward, right? It's in the name, Scott Catholic, right? I will tell you, my time at Scott was harder from like an education standpoint than I was in college. Okay, maybe I didn't go to the toughest college, whatever you want to call it is. But Scott set me up for success. So I want to be very, very, very clear that Scott set me up for success. And like, to my point of like wanting to accelerate, it put me on an acceleration path, right? But like the one thing at Scott was like, there's constant, like every day we had a religion class. Every day, every week we did mass and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it at the times, but like that was not really me. You know what I mean? Like I don't like when, I know so many people are this way, but like if you want me to do something, you got to tell me to do the exact opposite of what you want, right? Like, and so like we had these religion teachers, we had these nuns, and we had these priests that were like, kind of give you the hard time about stuff. And it just kind of pushed me away for a little bit. And so like after high school, in college, I would rarely go to mass unless I was with my parents. And then after college, it picked back up. I would go to mass quite a bit. I lived in Lincoln for 12 years. And then it would kind of dropped off because, there's some things I struggle with the Catholic faith. I'm not going to get into those issues right now, but my journey has been like, okay, well, just because sometimes the way they'll make you see is like, you're Catholic. If you're not Catholic, then what the hell are you doing? It's like, no. There's plenty of great things out there, man. Like you like believe in God, do the right things, be good people. Like there's good cops, there's bad cops, there's bad doctors, there's good doctors, there's good Catholics, there's bad Catholics, right? But like what F3's done for me has opened up the door that there's deeper meanings. Like again, I love still going to the Catholic churches, but like, they get up and do the homily, and me and my wife, I get so frustrated with this. I'm like, because they'll read a passage, right? And like they'll read the gospel, and like it's an amazing story, like one of the better like Bible verses. I'm like, oh, and this applies to today's stuff. Like you can tell some amazing stories. And they get up and and the priest will get up and literally like just repeat what they read. and like talk about David, Matthew, Michael, whatever. Like, awesome, David, Matthew, Michael. I need them here in 2026. Apply that to my life so I can be a better person here today.
For sure.
And so right now, I tell you, we're on a little bit of a journey. I'm not saying we're leaving the Catholic faith right now, but at the same time, I think we need to find what works for us.
Yeah.
I think so many times people will do what their parents have done, and that's kind of like, that's like what we just do it anyway. Do it anyway. Time and tell you, not here, right? Like so I am using F3, and I'm using other guys in F3 to help me better understand kind of what we need to look for and what will fill my bucket.
Yeah.
But not only my bucket, my family's bucket, right? Because we're in it together for this. But the journey has been rocky. It's been up and down. I've never lost faith. I don't want to be very, very clear about that. And I do just wholeheartedly believe in the golden rule of like treat others how you want to be treated. But I will say F3 has definitely opened up my eyes and ears to like there are other religions out there that I think probably would be better. Would be if we're really going to get down to it. You open up can of worms. That's what that would be is, and so that's a journey I'm on, and we'll continue to work on.
Yeah. Well, the Lutheran Church is always accepting.
Yeah, my wife's Lutheran. Yeah, she's always out there. Yeah.
Or the what's so cool about that, right? Is like I think the pull, right? Because like God's pulling at your heart to like find, search, right? Keep searching, right? And you haven't given up, and you're finding what works for you and your family, and that could be. But using the guys in F3 and like, what are you guys doing? Like just one more example, right? If the guys in your pack are accelerating in all these areas, they just pull you, help you level up. So I just I love that.
Yeah, they are.
What I love about that is it's not fitness, fellowship, and religion, right? It's fitness, fellowship, and faith for a reason. And it's not, there's a big difference in my view between religion and faith. And somebody can be really religious and have a really religious routine, but maybe their faith isn't quite as strong as somebody who's just very, very faithful and has a higher power that they believe in, whatever that is. And that's what I love about F3 is that we don't all believe the exact same faith, but we all believe that there's something that's calling us to be a better person. Yeah. And you kind of touched on that. And that's it sounds like that's kind of the approach that you take with faith.
I wish you would have told me that earlier. I would have used those words because it was very well said, right? It's like there's words matter, right? And that's one thing also I appreciate about F3 is very intentional. Everything's been thought out with F3. Very intentional. And I love that because you get in organizations and it's not that case, right? But to your point, I have faith. I don't know if I have a religion. So there you go.
Yeah, I love it. I am curious, so Stripes reference, right? He's sort of always seen you as a leader. We're trying to invigorate male community leadership, VQ, Site Q, other sort of stuff. Would love to hear like what was your journey like? Yeah. And would also love to hear like advice for guys taking a flag or thinking about taking a site flag.
Totally. No, I'll pop a couple. My VQ was July 3rd. So it was 2 months after I started. It was at the Calm. Bogey and Billboard put me on to do it. Actually, Stripes, you put me on to do it. We were at the Starbucks after the Armory one day, and he's like, "No, you're gonna queue." And Billboard pulled up. He's like, "Well, I got the third available." I'm like, "All right, we're doing it, baby." And but like, loved that you pushed me to do that, right? And I love that. Yeah. I prepared more for that VQ than like. I mean, because like here's the thing, like whether you do or don't know about me, like I get up on stage and I speak quite a bit. Yeah. You can probably tell I can talk a little bit, right? And like. I've never, actually I should say, I used to be a little nervous, but like I never get nervous when we're talking in front of people. Like I've talked to 400 or 500 people at a conference. Half of them aren't even listening. Let's really call it what it is. The other third are on their phones. And there might be like 2 or 3 people that are up there. You know what I mean? And so like, I'm very good about public speaking and those types of things. So I wasn't really worried about like the COT or the thing. I just needed to make sure like I had this way of doing things in my brain. So I would do that. But I was like, I wanted the Beatdown to be like memorable. And I still remember I had this huge plan and I ran it by Bogey. And Bogey's like, and you know how Bogey is, he's kind of like, he kind of gives you that nice, like, all right, man, let's, and like, that's his way of being like, no, let's maybe think something different. And he's like, let's go simple. And when he told me, I was like, oh, and you start to see probably like, if you ever come to my Beatdowns, like they're pretty straightforward. They're pretty simple, but they're hard, right? Like, and then I pride myself on that. Sometimes some people do or don't know, but my VQ, wholeheartedly prepared. Man, I loved it. It was like, I still remember there was 54 guys there at that. And that was big help for you guys coming out. I know you both were there. But man, it meant so much to me. And it was so fun to like run down. It was at the Comps was back where Elkhorn South, now it's across the way, right? And it was like a foggy field. And like, I'm like, dude, like remember the Titans type shit was coming up in my mind. And like, we were going to be doing some gassers and stuff. And like, I was just on cloud. And like I hadn't felt like that. Like the only entire time I really felt like that athletically was like when I was on pitching on a mound. Like where I had complete control. I could be, like everything determined on me. Like, but this way for me. And then I remember coming back and he was like, "Oh man, how'd you know how to do all this stuff?" And I'm like you didn't even look at a piece of paper or anything. And like that to me, I take that as pride. Right? And others have different ways of doing it, but that's my measuring stick for me. So my Viki was fun. Thoroughly enjoyed that. I'll give one other quick story. And I'll talk about flag pass stuff here. I will say like the other one was like handing the flag recently to Chugger. I will tell you it was a little bit of a struggle, and this is a hand up on me. Should have been doing a lot more recruiting ahead of time to find my replacement at the Wolf Den. So that's going to be number one tip for some folks here coming up. But Chugger is a phenomenal guy, and I think Chugger was like a little hesitant at first, right? And I know Stripes, you had a little influence on that as well. Funny how you have an influence on a lot of things. But Chugger, like, once he was like all into it, he was all about it. And it like made me feel so good. I was like, okay, like kept this thing up. At least the boat's still, above water, and like giving it and having him step up and doing it, and the whole giving it away, right? Like Wait Time and Tater Tot, and everybody and Plague Yourself. Like you constantly are talking about give it away. And like, I love that saying. And this was like my way of giving it away to him. And just seeing him excel. Like if you've seen him now, he doesn't know how to use X. Now he'll learn how to use X. Like, and I was like, shit, this might be a long thing. I might have been doing his postings for him for a while. And then his son Mustang helped him out a little bit there. But Chugger, like, it's such a fun story to see Chugger step into the role. And like, once he was clicked in, he's like, yeah, this is me. This is who I am. He's like, you can get over there. And I'm like, perfect. And it was like also another way for me to clear the way for somebody else to come in, lead from the back, move forward there. Some tips for people that are doing like flag passes or looking to get a flag. First of all, if you want a flag, I'm a big manifesting your destiny. Go ask for it. You know what I mean? I made it very clear to Vespa and Cradle, and I showed up consistently. I made it very clear that if there's an opportunity and you're considering somebody, I want to be on that list.
Yeah.
Right? Like you got to show up in life sometimes. Like, they're not just always going to hand you with stuff. So I say, go ask them, develop relationships with them. That's another beautiful part about F3 is develop relationships with them and understand where they're coming from, and then let them know if they don't choose, that's fine. There'll be other opportunities down the road. The next thing I would say, like from a flag standpoint, is and I needed to do a better job. I didn't do a good job of this at first. Was being more welcoming to people when they're coming. Right, like if you've seen somebody show up in a while, and I wasn't really the type that would like send people texts, but like I would start seeing something like, where are you at? Like you're normally here on Mondays. Where are you at? I need like my numbers to be high, but whatever. And so I should have done a better job of developing relationships with those who were very consistent coming to the Wolf Den quite a bit, because there were some guys that were consistently coming and they left, and probably because like I brought a different regime, just like anything, and anywhere it goes. And that's the beautiful thing about F3 is you got 13, 14 other sites you can go to. That's what I love about this place is like, you don't want to come to this one, go to that one. Yeah. So there was that piece there. I will say you got to start your recruiting earlier. So start identifying people earlier. And then, I don't know. I guess I would say like, put your own spin on your site. Like, I think you saw me. And you probably, and like, I know guys laugh and they probably think I'm weird, whatever, but like, I like to howl, man. I'm fucking good wolf howler, dude. I listen to those YouTube videos. They're fucking awesome, man. Like, wolf's howling is like one of the coolest sounds in the world to me, right? And so like, Wolf Den, Wolf thing, like, yeah, you'd hear me like howl and stuff but like, and you see some of the guys and now they know when they show up, they know what they're getting, baby. You're getting the wolves are coming, baby, so put your own spin on it too. Like, have some fun with it. Vespa and Cradle had a fun thing. They did coffee on site. Cradle would always, have this like little keychain, so you'd hear him clinking around. You're like, dog, he's behind you, in front of you at all times. Like everybody has their own spin, and I would encourage you to do that within reason. But yeah, make it your own. Get one shot at it.
Heck yeah.
Go big,
dude. It's funny. Sometimes guys will listen to these on like 2 times speed.
Oh, you're gonna be ready.
Covered a lot, and you can talk fast. So hopefully, guys are slowing the speed down, because I can't thank you enough for your leadership, but also just all of the gold nuggets about how to lead in all areas of life. I think just really appreciate being able to hear your story, and where we like to kind of land the plane is just like current state. Yeah. Where do you need prayers? Where do you need support? Yeah. If we see it out there, what's some encouragement we could give you?
Yeah. One of the things I think you've seen is a theme here is like, I'm all about embracing, right? Mm-hmm. And I will say even before in my life, like I would embrace some of the challenges in my life. And now it's like, there's that whole buffalo mentality, right? You ever heard the buffalo herd mentality? It's like, you run through the storm, right? You know what I'm talking about. And I used
the bison. We almost named Badger Point, Bison Point.
You did? Yeah. Oh, dang, that would have been cool, man. Buffalo's a pretty cool animal too, man. But like, you take your challenges head on, you run through them. I used to run from a lot of things, and I'd be like, it's kind of the sweep it under the rug mentality of like, if I don't see it, it's not there. If I don't deal with it, it's not there. And I've decided to turn and face those. So, current state, currently tackling those challenges. But I would say, embrace me, but embrace the fact that like, hey man, I got some things going on in my life. Like ask about my dad. Like I don't want people to not ask about. He's like a great story, and he's going to fight, and we're going to win, right? Like whatever that looks like, how you want to define winning, that's fine. Man, and nothing makes me more happy than if you ask me about my children. But also, like I do like I like when guys want to chat about the career too. I mean, whether people want to admit it or not, it's part of your life. It's who you are, and it shapes who I am. I definitely need some prayers for my family. Definite prayers for my mother. She's been a nurse for almost 45 plus years, and she's going to continue to have to be, pretty good side caregiver for my family. Continued prayers for my brother, even though I do not speak with him. I do wish, I wish him well. But then like continued prayers for my family, would be just where it's at for my kids and their development, and that they are contributing members of society is like the ultimate goal for me right there. But yeah, if you see me around, me, ask me more stories. I got more funny stories for you. I mean, I could talk, as you can see, forever. I do appreciate this platform to be able to tell a little bit of my story.
Heck yeah.
Like, I think it's phenomenal that you put these on, man. And I know you're doing it at your own time. You're a very, very busy individual as well. And then in Stripes, man, I can't begin to thank you enough for everything you've done for me. When I first met you, I remember meeting you before you, so we worked together, and I was like, this he's a good dude, but I didn't realize the impact you were going to have in my life. And so I can literally pin back to moments with you that have curtailed me into this. And I know maybe you didn't think I was going to stick around for a while, but like you saw me now. I'm like, I'm here. Like I want to continue to be here and to continue to give it away. So thank you so much, gentlemen.
Well, before we land it, a couple of things we got to do the rapid fire. Can't forget that.
All right. You got a minute.
And, I think that probably Break Room and Q-Tip get more credit than I do. I think I just maybe gave you a little bit of a nudge that you maybe needed, but I knew once you would go in, you'd go all in, because that's what you do. Really fast though, I want to know, because I've known you from a professional standpoint, how has F3 changed your leadership standpoint? Because I haven't seen you, since we don't work together anymore, really since F3 has had a bigger impact on you. So sales, I asked Biscuits the same question. That changed your sales style, but I know you're more of a sales manager. So has it changed the way that you manage your people, and in what way? Yeah. Because you're pretty a scary boss.
Yeah, I know, man. Use voice. No. So real quickly, yes, it has a direct impact on the way that I show up as a leader at work. The impact for me has been more of like, it's given me, what F3's taught me is to take a step back. Let others lead. Like, dude, you don't always have to be the one running in front of this here. And at work, I'm very aggressive. I'm just gonna be real honest with you, and it's giving me the opportunity to step back to be as a leader. How am I as a leader today? I show up so much better today. The one thing I do better today is I don't show my emotions right away. Like if you ever see me you remember seeing me on some of these like Zooms, like somebody says something, I'd be like, are you kidding me? Like this. And now I'm, you control your emotions. Like, I can't believe you said that. But it's how, everything's how you react to things. And so it's taught me that. Okay. All right.
One word answer real fast. All right. Site you've never been to that you want to go to.
The Dune.
F3 guy that you'd like to get to know better.
I like. Steeple. Like Steeple's always he's got a pretty good story. Yeah. Steeple's got a good story.
If you could change your F3 name, what would you change it to besides Squirts?
Oh man. I really like Ditka, dude. It would be like Mr. Ditka. How about that? There you go. We'll just doctor it up, Joe Dirt Day. Yeah.
Ditka.
Yeah. And lastly, F3 hammer that you see on the Q schedule that you're just gonna be hurting by the time you're done.
Yeah, like a whiplash.
Oh yeah.
Break your back, man. But like, yeah. I mean, if either you are on there, I know we're getting it done. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. You're off the hot seat.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
I do want to just say it's been an awesome experience for me to just be a small part of it, of your journey. I know it's just beginning. Once you pass the flag, there's bigger and better things out there for you. So we'll continue to see you around, but, I just appreciate the way that you lead, the way that you just do everything 100 million%. Yeah. There's no 100%. And I just love the mentality that you have and the way that it rubs off on others around you. You're a him amongst him. You, you've made F3 better, and we're blessed to have you. So appreciate you.
It means a lot coming from you, Stairs.
Let's do a little Namo. Wrap us up here. Brandon Fleehardy, 40, The Plague.
The Plague. TJ Butler, 47, Stripes.
Stripes.
Great call.
Good call. You got Brad McCann, 40, Ditka.
Yeah. Do you do a call sign, or
They'll say like sausage or something, or, you know. But if I really want to like just do a
That's
get the wolf in it.
Love it. Yeah, you got the best howl in all of F3.
Hell yeah, baby.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Scars on our hands, hope in our chest. We're not defined by the weight of the test. Brothers in step, we carry the flame. Different roads, but the heart beats the same. Every man's got a story to tell. From the valley low to the mountaintop, yeah. Every man's got a story inside. Standing strong, we won't hide. Every man, yeah. Every man's got a story. We've been broken, we've been bruised, but we rise again and we don't get to choose. Through the fire, through the fight, every man's story burns in the night. Scars on our hands, hope in our chest. We're not defined by the weight of the test. Brothers in step, we carry the flame. Different roads, but the heart beats the same. On a story to tell, from the valley low to the mountaintop yell. Every man's got a story inside. Different roads, but the heart beats the same. Every man's got a story to tell. From the valley low to the mountaintop yell. Every man's got a story inside. Standing strong, we won't hide. Every man, yeah, every man's got a story. Every man's got a story. Voices rise like thunder, they roll. Truth in the pain, it's shaping the soul. Chains may rattle, but they break in time. Every man's story is yours and mine. From the struggle to the glory, every man's got a story. In the dark or in the light, we keep marching through the night. Every man's got a story inside. Every man's got a story to tell. From the valley low to the mountaintop hill. Every man to the mountaintop hill. Every man's got a story inside. Standing strong, we won't hide. Every